exaggeration, the world's most famous female DJ. Marusha's 1994 single, Somewhere Over the Rainbow, became her biggest hit ever, selling over 500,000 copies and ranking number 3 in the charts. Never before had a techno track reached such a high rating. Her debut album, Graveland, is one of the most popular albums of all time. No Hide, No Run enjoyed similar success. Her latest album, Offbeat, released in early 2004, is one of my personal favorites. She performed innumerable gigs at home and abroad at almost all trend-setting parties in the techno house scene and was awarded the Viva Comet 95 as Best Techno Act, the Echo Award 95 as Best Female Artist. Apart from this, Marusha was nominated Best Female Artist at the MTV Awards in '95 in front of the Brandenburg Gate in Berlin. As a DJ who has performed at every major event, she has been a real inspiration for techno fans such as myself and millions of others. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I am honored to welcome the one, the only, and the incomparable DJ Marusha.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored to be here in the school. It's a very beautiful school to mention. First time I saw such a big school in Thailand, in Bangkok, because as I heard from Mr. he told me that you don't have so much space here, and you're really lucky to study in the school. Very beautiful. I'm happy to see you, and saw plenty of you as well. And as you know, I'm invited from the International Peace Foundation, and every day visiting universities, and today here the International School. And I wrote some thoughts, my personal thoughts down about my vision of peace and believing, and some thoughts I've been made myself. But first of all, I would like to introduce myself again, shortly. The friendly young man did it really nicely. Thank you very much for this introduction. I feel really honored. Since 14 years, I have been producing electronic music. I'm presenting as well a DJ radio magazine since 1991 on one of the most popular radio stations in and around Berlin. You know, it's in Germany, so this is the town I'm from, and which is on every week and is reaching young and interested people, mostly your age as well, with the latest electronic music. I'm also traveling as a DJ, of course, to present records, my records, and as well, of course, mostly other DJs or producers in electronic music, which I like, and played to the people in my country, Germany, and as well all over the world. Unfortunately, I've never been in Thailand, but now I'm here, and if you want, I'm gonna play tomorrow, Wednesday evening, I think around 10 o'clock, no, 11:30 I think we start, in the Novotel club downstairs. I'm not singing, I'm a DJ, so I'm playing records, and it's gonna become really cool. So I don't know how much about, you know, how much of you ever even listened to electronic music, if you know all the different. Did you? May I see hands? Who knows electronic music? Only? You all have to come. Super. Great one. So if you want, you are invited. At this point, yeah, I told you, if you want, come over, have a look. Today I'm here to talk to you, but please feel free. If you have any questions, just interrupt me. Yeah, we are here very easily going. So if you have a question, don't be too polite and hold yourself back. Just raise your hand or scream and let me know, and ask me whatever you want to ask me. So some thoughts now from me to you. I was making myself of course when I was asked to come over to Thailand and speak to young people, and I think I keep it more on a personal opinion and a personal spiritual way of thinking, which I think is good to have a better altogether and a better world. And you, all of you are very young, and you are the key. You know, you are growing up, and maybe something sounds interesting to you, what I think. I was thinking, are things in life still and always about truth? Or is this truth changing with every place taken on the past? Doesn't every human being have his own opinion about what truth is? Do people with strong beliefs tend to credulity? Is faith used to convert people and their beliefs to things they actually never wanted? There still are people who tend to believe in nothing at all and develop euphoric fanatism through a permanent influence of information. So it seems that the longer you tell someone something again and again, all the time, the bigger the chance becomes that this person ends up actually believing it. The power of repetition. Nothing else is aimed by publicity. And if this now occurs to many human beings at once, an incredible collective dynamism results out of this. A mess in ecstasy. This we know from recent history and also from nowadays is almost impossible to be stopped once it has reached cruising speed. The difference between solitary fighters and those acting within a greater mass of individuals is that anonymity is granted among a greater bunch of people. Like we have learned from history, the mass even covers individuals who are still pretending today that they have never been part of it. What a coward an individual can be in the mass. It looks less good for those who've chosen to stand for their ideologies despite of the untried mass, and who in their own names give them free to identification. Those who operate against the will of the community in order to open the way of unpoisoned truth towards a more equitable view of the world. The courage of these individuals is often resulting in their death. Not only the physical death. Worse than that if you have to go on living with a death sentence. But preciously, these activists are to be thanked. In many cases, there would be no freedom, no democracy, no awakenings, and so on without them. Attention is one of the most important characteristics that shall never perish. Mothers to have them, what I'm talking about. They are attentive, they are alone, protect and fight for the children, selfless in love and justice for a protected life. Most people fight for illusionary happiness in life. They hustle through a life that has been promised to them by someone who only wants their submission. Because someone like that needs the anonymous mask too in order to hide. For such dictators, an absolute necessity, because only the mass has the ability of dazzling new disciplines. No justifying is necessary for who is backed by the community. It's that easy today as it has been in the past. Humans have learned nothing from the past. Most of us are not able to recover from failure. Therefore, we don't succeed in fulfilling our destiny. It is easy to stand for something that is free of risk. The daytime will come for anyone to go his own way, and there will be no path to lead you, only instinct. The signs have been taken into account, and one has arrived. Then one has to jump into the unknown and find out. As you grow up, you will find out yourself. Who is wrong, who is right, and above all, who I am. Confidence means to start with one's own and trust yourself. Never mind how often you fail or how many mistakes you make in your life. You should never become a slave of your own past. A slave that has lost the ability to get in contact with the world and how it is. The first step away from this stiffness lies in the realization of our mental jail. You see, the beginning of a better understanding lies within oneself. One can find truth if one is unable to exist without knowledge. Knowledge always leads you to something already known, never to something unknown. Knowledge emerges from the past. Truth, on the other hand, is unknown and not measurable. If it was, it would be the truth. Everything you will learn from words or the books of others is not real, but just a repetition. And repetition is not the truth. It is grotesque to think that any masters can lead us to the right way. You can't find wisdom through some sort of discipline or a master. You can't find fulfillment by thinking you are on a particular path and therefore belong to some sort of chosen one. This idea can, in the best case, provide you with a feeling of security and make you feel better. The idea of being on the right way and that our way is the longer is the result of premature thinking. A mature human being will find the truth because he will never follow a master nor a path. B is a path of knowledge, of science, of education, or of action. For the searching, search itself is love and devotion. Search itself is knowledge. If you can understand yourself, you can understand others too. And from this understanding finally emerges love. I personally feel that injustice and malice on this world is incurable. But what we can change, and what we should change is ourselves, our impatience, our selfishness, our way of easily becoming upset, our lack of love and indulgence. I think that every other attempt of changing the world, even if it is done in the best of intentions, is completely useless. Every single human being has got a sense in life, a unique gift or a particular talent he can share with others. If we combine this unique talent with a favor to our fellow human beings, we will witness ecstasy and the joy of our own souls, our highest goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's an opportunity now then for you to ask some questions of Marusha. So anybody with questions?
I can ask you something.
Ms. Marusha, before in your speech you mentioned something about education. How do you think, how much importance is there in education to bring people together? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. I think education is very important because everything you see at home or at school, which is going to be told you by parents or teachers, from the behavior, from everything what this person surrounds, will be kind of a challenge for you to choose in between of if you feel well in this surrounding, and if you tend to adopt some, how can I say, adopt some beings of your parents and the teachers, which bring you further. So I think somebody without any education has to look for an own education that might fail often. So education is very important to find yourself and what your inner need is. Because as a young human being, sometimes you're really clueless. You don't want, what will I become later? I'm at school right now. Sometimes school is boring. Sometimes school is cool. But what I'm gonna do after school? Am I studying? Am I earning money? And all these questions which young people have day by day, beside of listening music and playing video games and all these things, will come up to you. And I think the choice will be easier by the years, by a good education and a stronger back.
Though this is a question that is completely something that you haven't spoken about, I can't help but ask someone so involved in the music industry what you think about programs that sell music on the internet for free. Do you think they should be abolished, or do you think they're fine the way they are?
It's a really hard question, which I was asked many times as an artist as well as somebody who earns money through records. I would say 50-50. There's so many people, they do not have enough money, and they would really like to have some records. And if they got the chance to go into the net to just suck anything down what they want, it is illegal on one side, but on the other side it's possible. So I think everyone who has the possibilities would do it. I even did it. So I think the best way of thinking about this is, as long as you still go into stores and pay respect to those artists you really want to support, buy 1, 2 records, you know, and you still buy records. You keep the music industry going on. But if everybody would just use the internet to get the music downloaded, we would become, or we would get a really big problem by, you know, producing CDs and all the music to the people. On the other side, I admit that music, I don't know how it is in Thailand, but in Germany, they're quite expensive. And it's the same here, yeah? And this is also a reason, because I have my own label since 4 years, I know how much it costs to produce a CD. And I know how much they take in the stores. And this shouldn't be that expensive, because you could really give it to the stores for much less money. And then I think maybe people will buy more and do not download so much. But honestly, sometimes when I download music, it's not really an artist which I would really buy. It's more an interest, you know, I'm interested into the music, and then I suck it down. But mostly artists I really appreciate, I want to have the original.
If I can ask a question, do you think that music can lead to peace in the world? Do you think that musicians maybe are more important than politicians?
This is a strange question. Politicians and music. I mean, it would be great to think we could play music and our whole state is going to be organized by music and we don't need any politicians anymore. But that would be good, I think, a big problem, because I think anybody sitting here in this place has a different music taste. So we would have like thousands of music styles. I think politicians, well-elected and fair-elected politicians, are necessary, because you need people who organize the whole bunch of community and people in a country. So hopefully the leaders are cool and not, as we know from the presence in some countries, totally fools, destroying everything. I think music is, for me personally, very much a peace item, because when I feel really depressed, for example, I have my certain music which really calms me down, and so do the music as well by friends of mine. On the other side, music can make you very hyper and bring people together and celebrate peacefully. I mean, I think music or going out on the weekend is for many people a place where they want to chill out, where they want to forget school, forget work, forget any problems they have during the week. And music can touch your soul, your heart, whatever. It depends on the music and the music style. If I listen to more hardcore, heavy metal, it's aggressive music, but it can push something in me and relax me, because I like it. Or if I listen to drum and bass or techno, could be the same effect. If I listen to classic music, one side of the people are bored of classic music. On the other side, some special people really get chilled and relaxed and inspired. It depends. I think music is very important. I could not imagine a world without music. It would be a poor world and a very silent one.
I just wanted to know, actually, how did music in general change your life from your youth to now?
Financially, it changed my life, of course. But this was never the reason doing music, because in my case, it was, I always was listening music. My first record I bought, I was 9 years old, and it was Gloria Gaynor. I don't know if you know this artist, the black woman. She used to be a gospel singer from America. It was a real fat blues soul mommy, black. And after her, I bought a record. You might be too young to know, but it was called Electric Light Orchestra. It was in the 70s, which was guitar music mixed up with spacey electronic sounds. And after that, with 12, 13, I popped into the punk scene, and I was really mad about punk music, fast guitars and madness. And bands like Sex Pistols, for example, God Save the People, and the guitar, and went out with my friends and going mad. And after that, I popped into house and acid house music, and from that moment on, I knew this is the music I always waited for. I was 19 that time, and then I was totally addicted since today. Today I'm 38, and I'm still into electronic music, and I've lived all the growth from that music, from acid house to gabba music. Maybe for some people new words, but it's like the development of electronic music. Breakbeats from England, then drum and bass from England, hardcore techno. Today, very, very modern electro music, which is kind of faster hip hop, but not as fast as drum and bass, but offbeats, not straight bass drums, and a very, very nice development in electronic music movement, and never boring, and that's why I still love it. And music changed my life in so many ways, because I did an earning out of it. When I was 18, 19 years old, I always wanted to become a sports teacher. And when I finished school, I was so bored about sports, because I wasn't on a sports school, and we had like, at the end, the last 2 years, 8 to 10 hour sports a day, and I was so fed up with sports that I could throw up. So I'm not studying sports now, I need a rest. And I went to England, and in England, that was the time when I got really infected with acid house music. And after that I organized parties in Germany, back in Germany, and through these parties my life got in this direction that people found out in Berlin, which I formerly was not living. I moved there, that there's a woman in Bavaria knowing about this music, and they were planning a techno DJ magazine, and they invited me to Berlin. I was 22 years old. I went there, I did it, and they took me, and I still do this radio show now for 14 years. And it's presenting young, unknown people in the age from 16 to 25, for example, having the skills and talents to mix, having their own taste. And every week, every Saturday, I invite young listeners or people who write me, and they DJ for 1 hour. It's a 2-hour show, and represent themselves. And it's very successful because it's on a normal level. Sometimes I have as well big stars playing or myself, but I never wanted the attention on the star side. I wanted on the skill side, and this was the receipt that this show is successful for 14 years now, that people really were educated through my show musically. They always hear another style around about electronic music, and the focus was more on the music and on the skills than on the person and the names, and that was my idea about the whole concept.
I've got a question from Jordan, but he's losing his voice, so I'll ask it for him. He asked, how do you create peace in your own music?
I think just the appearance of myself and my music taste. When I go places, for example, I'm moving a lot. I'm traveling the world, and I'm German. And when I go somewhere and I appear and I play, it's the vibes I just bring with me, and hope to connect with the people, to have a peaceful night where everybody can celebrate or have peace or chill or explode from energy. I think it's like sports. If you entertain yourself and entertain with all the people in one room, you can have such a good time. You can really think about when you go home, and it gives you very positive inspiration in the best case if you have had your fun. And I think this is my part. Going to countries or in my own country, visiting places, playing my music taste, which is in a range of electronic music, from aggressive to nice to voices to strange to tricky to experimental, progressive, whatever I feel like, whatever people show me they want to hear as well, because it's always an interaction. I play, of course, that what I want to play, but I would never play something people want to hear. So I think this kind of peaceful together, celebrating and sharing a moment, and then leaving each other and having a good moment.
Music always brings a message to the people. If you would have to bring across a message right now with your music, what would it be?
Well, my message was always, when I produced, that the music stands authentically for the time happening. So I was never a person, for example, I became very famous with rave music, but I never sticked on rave music because it was happening in this time. I was a totally raver with everything, with green eyebrows and colored clothes and shoes with plateaus like this, and but it wasn't time. And as time changes, like days are changing, and you're getting older, and life's growing, and nothing is still standing. I always tried as an artist to live and work with the responsibility against listeners and fans to always keep them on the newest level of musical development. And as I said before, electronic music is such a wide range of music happening since 20 years. And every year something new happens. And I always tried in my own taste to mix it up on music, like on singles or albums, to represent the year, the time, and if you buy this, for example, you will always have a collection identically authentic to the time you bought it and what happened in this time. Because I think when you are from the scene or out from the scene, you should always be progressive and not still standing. This is boring, I think.
What do you think about the relationship between drugs and music?
I think there has never been music without any drugs. That is always happening. If you go to hip-hop parties or to heavy metal parties or to techno parties or whatever, politicians take drugs on the toilet. And I think they do not hear so much music. But yeah, it was always been like this. What I can say is, on a moralistic way, you can never reach young people or any people. If you forbid something, they will do it in purpose. So what I would always said was, whatever your instinct and your inner voice tells you to do and makes you, I don't know, curious. Sometimes you have it to do, but some people have a good relation to their inner voice and to their inner instinct, and they will find out what is good for them or not. And I wish you, whenever you make experiences or not experience, to try something out what I don't know you want to try out. Just keep it as an experience and try not to get too deep in a hole you will never come out again, because this can come up to you very easily, and it's of course dangerous. But it always depends on the human beings, how they are constituted. There are some people, they try once they smoke grass and they like it and they continue smoking grass, and after a while they find themselves only going like this through the streets. They only go home after school and the first idea is, I need grass, if I go out I have to smoke, It makes you lazy, it makes you slow. And I have a lot of friends, of course, which use drugs or just still use drugs, and I find out that most of the people cannot deal it. And a few of them can deal it. They take drugs once in their life, or once in a year, or every 4 months, just smoking, or I don't know, like drinking a glass of wine. But most of the people could not deal with it and get problems. And as I said, you have to find it out on your own, and it's your choice, your life, your human being, it's your house, you have to protect it. Whatever you do, you have to pay for it, in good and in bad ways.
Thank you. I'd like to ask Sparsh to close with some words of thanks.
I thank you very much for being here, and I wish you all the best every day, yeah? You know where you're going to, and you know where you're coming from. Don't forget this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I might as well stand.